Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today I want to talk to you about my 10 C's of survival kit and also 5 new C's that I've added into this kit. Guys, in this video you're also going to see featured the Canadian Prepper's Bug Out Roll. This is an excellent product. It's made in Canada. He had the chance to ship it overseas to have it made, but he wanted to keep the jobs in Canada. High quality material, 1000D Kudura, YKK zippers, high quality vinyl, extra stitching all over the place. Really cool product, and as you see my 10 C's kit, you're also going to see how it fit together into the Bug Out Roll. For any of you guys who aren't familiar with the 10 C's of survival, it's a system that Dave Canterbury came up with. There's 5 core C's and there's 5 additional, and like I said, I'm going to give you 5 more at the end. The first C is cutting, and so in this pocket you're going to see one of my cutting tools is a Corona folding saw. Really like this. This is probably my favorite of all the folding saws I've used out in the woods. Next I have a smaller knife. This is like a belt knife, and this is from a company called 3 Dog Knife. This is their AMUK, A-M-U-K, and they're a company based out in Alaska. Nice leather sheath, D2 steel for this one. So I've got a smaller cutting tool like this. I've also got this Essie Azula, and very small knife. You can wear it as a neck knife, you can wear it on a belt, and bright green and bright orange, so if I drop it I can still find it. I've got a knife from Mora in here. This is one of their fishing knives, and so I can scale, I can dress the fish or gut the fish so it's ready to be eaten. And it's lightweight and small enough, doesn't cost a ton, so I tossed that one in as well. And then the large cutting tool I have here, as far as for chopping and the like, is this, which is the Tops Bushcraft Kukri. And I love this as a chopping tool, as a larger knife. Got a bow drill divot, micarta handles. You can see I've actually attached a, it's kind of a sharpening stone, 3 different grits there on the back. So I've got an option to sharpen my tools connected to this. This also has a little pouch so I can put some more gear in there as well. And then you can see there's a whistle on the back as well. Now, since I had space in this kit, what I also threw in was a very small folding razor. And then this is actually a sharpening kit. It's a sharpening rod, and that makes it easier to sharpen the kukri. So for cutting, I've got my cutting tools and I've got ways to keep them sharp as well. All right, next up here we have combustion. So in this combustion section, I've got some waterproof matches, and these are the kind that if you put them underwater, even when they're lit, they'll go out, and then when you take them out, they should relight themselves. And obviously if they get a little damp, they should be just fine. So that's the first option for starting fire. Got a large fire steel. This is one from Schrade they put out a couple years ago. This is like the mother of all fire steels right here, if I can get it out. This is the Lightning Strike, and this thing is a beast. So it's got material up in here that's basically a fire starter that's impregnated with very flammable combustible material, and then you hit the fire steel, and it, because of this tube, it directs the sparks in a certain direction. So really great fire steel. Runs you about like 60 bucks, so it's not cheap, but a very good product. Got your standard orange Bic lighter. Last up I have these two, which is Fat Rope Stick from Production Hanger 51. Great product. You can make, you know, dozens and dozens and dozens of fires with this. And yeah, you basically take this wrapper off, and there's rope, again impregnated with a material that's very flammable. So you'll see also as I go through the system, there's lots of multiples of things. So while you can't do it for everything, I do like the concept that 1 is none and 2 is 1. So you're going to see repeats of a lot of different types of items. So that's my combustion section. We've done cutting, we've done combustion. Let's talk about cordage. This is my cordage section. So what we've got is some 550 cord in green. That's 50 feet of it. We've got some bank line. I've got some smaller cord, which is 3/32. They're calling tactical cord. It's got 4 cores. It's 100 feet, so that's this right here. We've got some more bright paracord in the back. I've got some wire for snares, and then we have another C coming up in the future that's going to be cargo tape. And so I've got this duct tape here, and that's about half a roll that's just been flattened out. Our next C is container. I've got a Pathfinder stainless steel water bottle and a nesting cup, so that fits like that into there. And because this is not insulated, I can put that right into a fire. Obviously take the plastic cap off, but I can boil water in there and do whatever I need to. And this has 2 little handles, folds out. And then the other thing I've done is add another container, which is this. This is a 2-gallon bag. So if you've purified a bunch of water, and this is the only thing you have to keep it in, well, then you got to consume it, or you can't use this for something else. So this allows me to carry water and to store water, at least 2 gallons of it, once it's purified, treated, whatever it is, and I could still use this to cook and do other things. Down in the bottom section of the bag, I've got the 5th C, which is covering. I've got this reflective astronaut blanket. It's 96 inches by about 48 inches, so quite large. And then I have a tarp as well. So those are the first 5 C's: cutting, combustion, container, covering, and cordage. For your next 5 C's, one of them is going to be cargo tape, and I already showed you I have a roll of duct tape, or about half a roll I should say. Additionally, another C is going to be compass, and I have this Brunton compass with a lanyard so I can wear it, or I can keep it in the pack or keep it in the roll. Additionally, I want to note that I'll probably be upgrading this so I can get one that's got the mirror as well. Another one is going to be candles. So in particular, we're looking at something like a headlamp. In these 2 sections, I've got 2 different headlamps. So I've got this one right here, which is, let me turn that off so I don't blind you. This is the TH10 from Through Night, runs off an 18650 battery. And then down here, I've got another headlamp, and this is one of my favorites. It's maybe my favorite headlamp, the HL60R from Phoenix. So once again, 1 is none and 2 is 1. So I've got 2 headlamps, both running off 18650 batteries, which for me have kept a charge for a very long time. So that's my candle option. You can also see I've thrown in a lightweight O-Light flashlight, and this one runs off AA's. So I've got 2 of the 18650s. This one runs off AA's. It does have that clip so I can carry it in a pocket, use it like a flashlight, and also put it on the brim of a hat as well. So as you can see, I've got 3 candle options in my system. 2 more C's to talk about. One is cloth bandana. A lot of people like a bright orange one, which makes sense to me, but the one I have currently in my system is a camouflage one, digital camouflage. And then I've got a shamag scarf. So again, 2 options for, I can filter out stuff from drinking water. I could use this as a sling. I use it to collect things. I could wrap it around my neck or my head to keep myself warm at night. A lot of ways that this serves. And then the last C is going to be cloth sail needle. Now I don't have a large needle in this set right now, or in this system right now, so instead I've got a variety of smaller needles. You want to get a bigger needle because you can really push it through leather or other things, but it is nice to have a bunch of needles if I have to, even something as simple as like get a splinter out, but also obviously for sewing purposes as well. Okay, we have talked about cutting, combustion, container, covering, and cordage. Then we have cloth bandana, compass, cloth sail needle, cargo tape, and a candle. So those are your 10 C's. Let me talk about the other 5 C's. The first one I'm going to add in there is C for care, and that's connected to medical care. So up here on the top, I've got a first aid kit. Let me show that to you. This is a personal first aid kit. About probably 75 to 80% of this is the original kit, and I added some additional things. It's from a company called Wild Hedgehog Tactical. They make very solid first aid products. So what I have in here is I've got some tweezers that are on the bottom here of this magnifying glass, obviously to get splinters out or do some detail work in a medical situation. I have this right here, hemostop, which is to stop some serious bleeding. I've got some more duct tape here, and sometimes I've even used that as a, basically as a Band-Aid when I didn't have a Band-Aid. So that's good for binding things, or if you have to make a splint or something like that. I've got some Warrior wipes, so those are basically sanitizing wipes. And then in the back here, I've got some gloves, and then I have this right here, which is for significant bleeding, which is this Celox or Celox Rapid. So that's on this side of the first aid kit. Let me show you the other side. So over on the other side here, I've got some ibuprofen and acetaminophen. So, for aches and pains and whatever. I've got a CPR face mask shield. This is a SWAT tourniquet. We've got Neosporin there to make sure that you're keeping cuts clean. And then down in this plastic bag is basically, we've got a couple things. Tough Hands, which is natural hand repair cream in these little packets. And then basically just like a boo-boo kit, tons of Band-Aids and coverings, alcohol prep pad, basically just to keep any cuts that you might get clean. So that's the next C for me, that's care. The next C for me is going to be cleaning up or cleanliness. And so you've already seen the cotton bandana, I could use that to clean up. But I've also got some of these in the orange there, these Coleman soap sheets, and then some of these expandable, they kind of, when you moisten them, they turn into like basically a paper towel. And then you can also see I've got some sunblock there, and that is sunscreen and lip balm together. That's going to kind of go into the medical category as well. And then I've got this, which is a camp towel. And you can see also that this could certainly be used for signaling. It's bright orange as well. But that next C again for me is going to be cleaning up or cleanliness. My next C is cooking. Now we already have our stainless steel bottle, which we could use to, you know, if I made like a soup or a tea or something like that, that's great. But it would be nice to have other options for cooking. So I've added a couple lightweight things in there. This is a Light My Fire spork. So super lightweight, it actually goes into any of the pockets very comfortably. I got two of these, which are, they were like 88 cents for I think 2 or 3. And these are like foil containers, which I flatten them out, but you can open them up, unfold them. You don't want to do it too many times because they'll start to get a crease and can actually break. But a lot easier to cook something in that than to try and do it over a fire with no container. So 2 of these as well. And I've got a little spice kit from Light My Fire. So salt, pepper, and some Old Bay in this just to spice things up as far as, you know, instead of eating some, what can sometimes be bland food out in nature, this is going to make it taste a little bit better. Another item connected to cooking is this, which is an emberlit stove. Super lightweight, you can break it down, it's compact and small, and yet it can just make the whole cooking process easier because it's not a lot of extra weight. I put it into the kit. The other thing I want to mention is that as far as food, I'm still in the testing process. I'm trying some different types of, you know, freeze-dried food and protein bars, jerky, all kinds of different stuff. But that's another thing I would add in here, just a small, you know, packet of whether it's ready to be eaten immediately or it has to be cooked or, you know, water added to it, whatever it is. It's nice to have some food that's ready to go so you're not depending on foraging or hunting or trapping or something like that. So, you know, the next C for me would be cooking and food tied into that. The next C I've added in is clothing. So what I've got here is a pair of durable tactical pants rolled up. They fit into the bug out roll. I've got a pair of gloves that'll keep my hands warm, and also I could certainly use those if I'm, you know, dragging things, pulling things, cutting things, help keep them safe. I've got a lightweight zip-up shirt. This is an EMS shirt. Give me another layer of protection. And then while I've already got a tarp, if I have to go out and leave the tarp set up, now I've got a small, lightweight, inexpensive poncho that's put in there as well. Another thing I'm going to add in is going to be just a simple beanie to keep my head warm. So clothing, that's the next C. My next C is communication. So I could certainly make a fire to get somebody's attention. Smoke would do that as well. But I've also got a signal mirror in here. And then because I almost always have my cell phone with me, I want to keep it charged so that if I do get a signal, I can make a call. So I've got an Anchor battery. So that's ready to be used to charge up the cell phone. I've got this OutXZ or OutZ solar charger. It's also got a flashlight built in, but I can use this to charge the phone, or I can use this to actually charge the Anchor battery as well. And then I've got my iPhone charging cord. And the last thing just to throw in there is I've got 2 extra charged up 18650 batteries for my headlamps. So again, communication is the bigger theme, but you can also see, maybe you could say C is for charging, so you can charge up your gear to communicate. So maybe get a hold of somebody so they can come and help you. Additionally, for communication, I do have a waterproof notepad and then a pencil and a Sharpie. So if I had to write notes for myself to remember something or leave a note for somebody else, now I've got an option to do that. The last C is the broadest, and that's the comfort C. So, you know, you could plug that into a lot of different areas. A lot of these things I've added would make life more comfortable out in the woods. But let me show you a couple additional things. This right here is the Lumen Noodle, and this is basically like a string of lights. It's got a battery built in there, and that would just light up the camp so I could see what's going on. I'm not dependent on my headlamp or the fire. This just makes life easier. So that's a comfort item, the Lumen Noodle. 2 more items. I've got some NC Star binoculars. Kind of an additional item, but you know, just to be able to see, spot things, it'd be nice to have that. This item right here is a thermocell. It basically keeps the mosquitoes away, and so it's going to keep them away from bothering me. Certainly it's a comfort item because of that. I've got all the necessary components as far as the kind of packets that you put inside it to put off the scent to keep them away. But great little item, again, adding comfort to my experience. I'm just adjusting the camera a little bit because of the sun, but a couple other comfort items. Instead of just having to boil water, I also put in my kit potable agua, so that's a good way to treat the water. And then I've got a Sawyer water filter and also the syringe to back flush the system. And I've also got some small tubing and then some larger tubing. And this is, you know, can be used in a variety of ways. Certainly it's a form of cordage, but I'm thinking about if you have to get into a place where it's hard to access the water by hand, at least I've got some tubing to reach down and acquire that water. Here's another comfort item, just a very small sewing kit. So yeah, I mean, if I had to fix something up, I've got the needles, but now I've got a tiny pair of scissors. I've got, you know, some additional needles, some thread, just nice to have it. Two comfort items that are connected to my shelter. One is just having some lightweight stakes. Yes, you could make them, but now they're prepared. And these are, again, super lightweight, so they fit in nicely. And then this is from the Friendly Swede, and it is a mosquito net to keep the mosquitoes away. So, you know, in a situation where you're just frustrated or you're out in the woods and the bugs are bad, nice to have something like this. Three final items that fit into the bug out roll and again could make life more comfortable, easier. I've got bug spray to keep the bugs away in case I gotta travel and I wanna leave the thermocell back at camp. In this SE Altoids tin, I've got a small fishing kit, so that'll make procuring fish easier than having to, you know, set up a fish trap or pull out the strands of paracord something. And then last but not least is a Leatherman. This is the Leatherman Wingman, and just a great multi-tool. Again, another cutting option, pliers, a lot of great functions and features to a Leatherman. It's a great thing to have in a survival kit. As we start wrapping up here, I want to mention briefly a couple notes about the Canadian Prepper's bug out roll. Yes, I like this product a lot. I love to organize my gear. I love the different size pockets, different sections. Overall, the construction is great. Some of the details to know, YKK zippers, heavy gauge vinyl, and the vinyl will stretch a little bit over time. It's 1000 denier Cordura. He made the choice to keep the production of this in Canada. He could have shipped it overseas and reduced the cost, but he decided to keep it in Canada to keep the jobs in his home country, which I think is really cool. And it is modular. It comes with the basic setup, and then you can add additional setups as well, or additional sections as well, I should say. So just a lot of options within that. This is not made to be the ultimate bug out bag. It's a roll to organize your gear, and it fits nicely into a backpack. So if you want to keep it in a backpack, and then once you get to a location where you're ready to set up camp, now your gear is totally organized. You can keep it up off the ground, as you saw. You can hang it. So yeah, definitely want to encourage you to check out the Canadian Prepper's channel, and then also want to encourage you to check out his bug out roll. I've got links to his channel and also to his website, so you can purchase the bug out roll if you're interested. Just click that show more tab. So there you have it, my 10 C's of survival plus my new 5 C's that I've added in. First thing I want to hear from you in the comment section below. What 5 C's would you add? You know, what would you add from mine? What would be different? What would you adapt, change? Let's get that conversation started in the comment section below. Thanks as always for checking out the videos. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids here on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.